Yes, sirree. Hello, fam. How you doing? Happy Thursday. I hope everybody out there is blessed. Life is treating you well. I'm so excited for tonight's show. I have somebody that you are going to absolutely love and adore. He's amazing beyond measure. His credits are beyond measure. But before we get into that, I just want to tap in. How you doing? How are you? How is life treating you? Do me a big favor. I do this every week, and one day, y'all, I'm gonna get really good at it. But I just want to make sure that you can hear me because I would hate to have a conversation and then be on and thinking that you can hear me and you can't. So if you could just say, Cheryl, I can hear you, you would just, make my entire life so much better. Yeah, we're live. We're live. So I think we're good to go. I think we are good to go. So again, I'm so excited to be here tonight. It's Thursday. I have so many things going on right now. I want to thank everybody first off for all your prayers with the loss of my cousin. We'll actually be laying her to rest and tomorrow. And it's really been a very interesting process. And for anybody who's lost anyone, I just want to say prayers. I think there's been a lot of losses across the country. I mean, just friends, family, what I'm seeing in the media, entertainers. And I just want to say right now, a prayer to each and every one of those. And whenever you're going through a loss, it is definitely a process. So be easy on yourselves and be easy on your loved ones. And together through prayer, you can get through anything. And I just want to send that out. So first and foremost, I want to tell you before I start talking about the guests, why do I do this? Why do I come here every week in front of you to share these amazing, talented individuals? Why? Well, most of you know my name is Cheryl Grant, and welcome to Fit Live. We're here to highlight the real journey and triumphs of individuals, professionals, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. Getting fit is more than a physical process. It's a roadmap for getting into mental shape, developing what we call faith, intuition, and tenacity necessary to propel you towards your own success, not only in business, but in life. So the question that beckons every week, are you ready to get fit? Fit stands for, again, faith, intuition, and tenacity. Faith is your ability to see with your third eye, to see beyond what you can see with your physical eye. Intuition, learning how to trust yourself. And then tenacity, just having the willpower to go out there and get it done. That is what it's all about. And today, we're going to be talking about our guests about getting fit. And they're going to be sharing with you some insight. So I want to bring them on. I know you'll be joining in as time goes on. I want to bring them on. His name is Mr. Craig A. King. Hello, Mr. King.
Hello.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited.
Thank you. And you are super dope, so I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I have to read your bio. But before I do that, Craig, you know what I'm going to also do? See, one of the things I'm a firm believer in is I like to share the love. And I believe that when you're in these scenarios, you got to share. You can't keep it to yourself. So if you see me looking down, that's because, Craig, I'm sharing it with my network. I'm making sure that I get everybody on board.
Do what you do. Yes, no problem.
Thank you. So I want y'all to know this gentleman is coming to us live from Atlanta. So we are in Cali. So there's a 3-hour difference. So I want to thank you for taking time away from your family to be here, Craig. I so appreciate you. So I'm going to just dive in and we're going to get into conversation. So who is this Craig A. King? And I love how that just comes together, Craig. Craig A. King. Like it already worked. So, and I love the word King. It already worked. So Craig A. King is the co-founder. Y'all, hold on a second. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. Y'all know I'm not playing. Okay, co-founder of RapPlugLive.com alongside rapper and entrepreneur Rick Ross and Brandon Chris. Attended Howard University where he majored in jazz and classical piano. During his sophomore year, he was recruited to perform with Ray Charles for the Black Rakim Tour. Did I say that right? Okay, I'm going to take that I did. Conducted by Quincy Jones. From there, King went on to work on many Grammy award-winning albums, soundtracks, television shows, commercial tours, and award ceremonies, including Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith, Ludacris, Kanye, Aaliyah, etc. His list is long. King has partnered with Comcast, NBC Universal, Boomtown, The Farm, Ford Motor Company, Sony, Apple, Music, Sound Exchange, Foxconn, Serena Williams, Microsoft, Revolt, Summit, Reebok, the Ford Company, the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA, Usher's New Look, and many more. I can say more than enough about this gentleman, but I want to say to you, welcome again. What happened? Did I lose you there for a minute?
Yeah, the phone rang, and I don't know. I didn't realize it would cancel us out. So I'm
That's
like,
okay. That's okay, Craig. But we're going to get started because I don't believe in delaying. People will join in as they join in and they'll tag in later, whether you do now or later. The thing that I want to say that's very powerful whenever I bring a guest on, they're taking valuable time to come spend with you and share their story. So I take them very seriously, and I know that you will too, in terms of leveraging this opportunity. Grab a notepad, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. Make this come alive for you. This is here to feed you. This is here to energize you. This is here to encourage you. Take this opportunity. There's not often that you get to get in front of a Craig, a king. I'm just saying. So take this opportunity. So Craig, again, welcome.
thank you. You're too kind.
One of the things I always start off with, Craig, is, and I have to ask you the same question. I can't play favorites here, sir. What are you passionate about, Craig? What are you passionate about?
I am passionate about giving back the gift that God has given me. I'm very passionate about giving the knowledge that comes with the gift. I'm working on a book. I can't tell you the name of it yet because we're kind of in between names.
Okay.
But it talks specifically about how my hands have gotten me into rooms around the world. And I've learned from listening in conversations around the world. And so what I've always said is the more I know, the more I want to give back. And so for me now, at the stage of my life, it's all about the distribution or the redistribution of my talent and my gifts and that legacy that comes from that. So that's really my passion, the youth and giving back.
Well, I want to start a little early on in your journey, Craig, because you have your book is going to be amazing because your story is absolutely amazing. Just your humble beginnings of how you started off and, why the universe decided to gift Craig a king with all these major opportunities because they are. You studied as a protege under Quincy Jones. How did that happen, Craig? I mean, and how old were you when that started? How old?
So I met Uncle Q when it's a funny story actually. So out of Howard University, I was chosen by Ray Charles to be his organist for a gig called the Black Requiem. And it just so happened that Quincy was the conductor of that. So before I even set eyes on Quincy, I was reading his sheet music with Ray.
Right.
And if you know anything about Ray and Quincy, they were best friends. So it was sort of for me, it was a twofer. I was already so honored to work with Ray. But then, and keep in mind, at this point, I'm 19, 20 years old.
Right.
And so it was already a super honor to work with Ray. But then when I saw the sheet music and I saw Quincy's name on there in pencil, mind you, with the eraser scribblings where he had changed notes in the composition and all that, I just lost it. So I was already working with him before I even met him because of Ray. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as a result of which, we had limited access, but we did connect then. But where we really connected the next time around was when I started working with Will Smith. And that was really the beginning of a sort of a different kind of relationship with Q, and watching him sort of mentor the group and kind of guide and enter in that book club space with Q and learning what he reads and learning how he thinks and learning more of the real game from him. And I thank God for Will and James Lassiter and ultimately Jazzy Jeff too, because Jeff really helped me get in that space. He's the one that really nurtured that. But so that was the beginnings of that. And then after all that, we connected and worked again and did the White House inauguration ceremony with when Bill Clinton was in office. So we partnered again. So there were a few episodes for our relationship to really grow, and it really made me the man I am. I can't lie to you. That level of mentorship from that level of a man, it really helped sort of inform me as to who I would become in life.
Wow. And so, Craig, how did you come?
I'm actually just sitting here in front of my piano right now. And I'm thinking about the first time I played for Quincy. And I'm thinking about the first time I played for him. And he said, the man the man said, Craig, call your mom right now because I want to talk to her. I called my mom. I kid you not. I called my mom, and Quincy told her, those lessons that you paid for, they worked out nicely for him.
Oh my God. So, like, how did you get into classical music? Like,
Hey, listen, that's the gift part. That's the part I can't explain. That's all from heaven. But I can tell you that I started off as a church musician. I started off playing in a Pentecostal church in Nashville, Tennessee. I can tell you that. And that was where it was all nurtured, and all of that was born there in Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. Okay, I'm done. I just had to do that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now you got me fucked up. Now you got to play a little something. I challenge
I'm just saying. If
you. You got skills. Let me see.
This right here. Summertime. That was my first hit record I ever did in my life.
You did that record?
Yes, with Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, we did the remix to Summertime, and that record took my career to the next level. And as I will, I mean, I'm so affectionate about that moment because it was the first time I'd ever heard a song I actually touched in every car around me. You know what I mean? So it was a really surreal moment for me. And at that time, I was definitely 20 years old.
Right. Wow. And you trained with the best of them, Ludacris. I mean, your list of artists that you have worked with has extended beyond time. I mean, it really has. And what was it like? And first of all, how did it come up with you working with Kanye? How did that come about?
So Kanye was born through a brother named G. Robeson, who was his manager at the time. I had known G forever back in New York when I lived up there. And G, at that point, I was living in New Jersey, and G just was family, still is. And so I was in Atlanta visiting. I was actually in Atlanta working with Jermaine Dupri on a project. And so G was like, "Are you still in Atlanta?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yo, I got a producer that's coming through named Kanye. Do you mind showing him around? Because he's got some sessions and stuff. And, I know I can trust you, with him. He's a younger producer, but he's dope and da da da." I was like, "Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt." So when he got here, I met him. I don't know if I met him at the airport, the hotel, I don't remember, but we got together and we just basically hung out for the day. He played me his demo, which was his first album, but it was at that point it was his demo, And I was like, man, yo, yeah, it was like All Fall Down when Lauryn Hill was still on before he replaced it with Serena. And I was like, yo, this is crazy, And so he was like, "Do you think it's gonna go?" I said, "Man, you're gonna be a star for real. Like you got some stuff, you know what I mean?" So that was how we bonded just on that first trip. But what happened was he had a session with Tip. He had a session with T.I. that night. So I took him to the session and they had a keyboard in there. So while he was making the record, I started playing, all that. And next thing I know, he's like, yo, I want you on the record. You know what I mean? So that was my first time working with Ye. And then that next day we got with Ludacris and he did the record Stand Up for Ludacris. And I was in the session and he made Ludacris listen to my beats he gave him my CD or whatever. And then Luda hit me up like immediately after that, like in the same day, like, yo, I want to rock with you. So that's how we really started to bond. Cause I wasn't even thinking about living in Atlanta. But once I met Luda and all that, I was like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Cause it felt like family. I ended up working with Luda a lot. But and then after that, Kanye came back to Atlanta and we did Good Life together.
Good Life. So you were on Good Life. You were a part of.
Yeah.
So what did you do? Did you compose the actual? What was your gift to that
So
art?
if you ever go to YouTube and look up making of Good Life, Kanye West, you will actually see what I did because I'm in the video.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I want to say while I'm saying that though, I want to give a shout out to the brother that actually filmed that. His name is Russell Trotter. We call him Hustle, and
Right.
he died recently. His funeral was today. So rest in peace to my main man Russell. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because Russell was a part of the crew too, and he filmed that making of Good Life. So yeah, shout out to Russell.
There's too many of us that are going too soon, and yeah,
Yes, yes, yep. 41-year-old brother. Yep, yep.
he was only
Good brother out of straight Atlanta.
he was 31.
Hmm. 41, 41.
Wow, wow, yeah,
Hmm.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely press out to that. And I'd say to you, Craig, this platform is all about being fit, faith, intuition, and tenacity. And
Mm.
I have had the honor to listen to you play the piano, and you truly do have a gift. I want to encourage all young people out there that if you are interested in music or the arts, to really pursue that, because I think that to see a Black man that who has studied under Quincy Jones, who has studied in the rooms of Kanye West, Ludacris, jazz. That's just huge. And it really gives hope. A Black man studying classical music, like that is such a gift. So, how does faith operate in your life, Mr. Craig Akeem? How does faith operate in your life?
Well, let me say this first of all. I'm very much a spiritual human being. I'm very, very big on spirituality. I'm very, very much a child of God, and I'm very committed to that partnership and relationship. I have a little 11-year-old who's listening to me, so I always make sure she hears all of that. But I also will say to you, keep in mind where my source of power comes from, and everything that I ever have done in music comes directly from my spiritual walk and from my foundation, which is the church. With that being said, when I first um, started playing the piano, there were a lot of naysayers, and I love this part of my story because they helped me build my empire, my character, myself, my me, and my why. The fact that they didn't believe I would even become a decent musician because I was so below average when I started, right? I was so below. But they didn't know how to nurture that. And to be honest with you, I'm glad that they existed because they helped motivate me by saying, "You're terrible. You suck." Like it was actually it was the medicine that I personally needed because I had to dig deeper.
Right.
And shout out to Mary L. Harris, who went to my church, the pastor's wife, who stayed on me and was like, "No, you're not gonna give up. Oh no, that's not an option. You're gonna keep playing because you have the gift. I know it when I see it." And she just stayed on me. And then I had a couple of music teachers who saw some things too, But by the time I got my music scholarship to Howard University, I at that point had enough confidence because now I had started really slaying a little bit. And
Oh,
so just a little bit, you know what I mean? Just a little bit, just a little bit, you know what I mean? And so at that point, I had a lot more confidence. So by the time I got to DC, I felt like I could do some things.
right.
But guess what? I got to Howard and ran into a whole new host of amazing musicians. And so now I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I don't know. Where do I fit in this? These guys are coming from all over the country and they have their own set of superpowers. You know what I mean? And this is all healthy. This is healthy. This is healthy.
I love it.
So I had to reset and dig in even deeper because iron sharpens iron,
Ooh,
right?
talk to him.
And so
Okay.
as that would occur, I had to dig deeper and find my own voice in that pool of amazing talent, and make sure I maintain my own identity, which, mind you, is now at this point a hybrid of Nashville textures.
Right.
Now I'm mixing that in with Washington D.C. textures and all these musicians from all over the country, and making sure I don't lose myself in all their greatness.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
what did I do? I ended up finding my own greatness within a pool of greatness, because we can all be great, right? There's no competition, right? There's enough to go around, right? That's the kind of God we serve, right? And so, with that being said, I never had to look this way and run and worry and get anxiety and angst and doubt myself. And no, I said, no. This is a power setting. Let me become powerful.
There you go.
And so, I don't know if I answered your question, but that is really that same motif, if you will, followed me throughout my entire career. So whatever I would run up against, I remembered the fundamentals of leverage the negativity and make it positive energy. And so I've been doing that ever since the little boy on the piano at church was doing that.
You know? Oh my God. You're just talking to my spirit right now, because I feel
Look at you rocking. Look at this. Look at this. You know.
Quit playing with me. Quit playing, because when spirit's in me, I can't help it, because it's talking to me, and the DNA and all the what atoms and all that is moving around. But what you're speaking to is like, we live in a world that has come from this mentality, this crab bucket mentality, that only one person can succeed. When you just spoke about the universe and God and being big, and it's big enough for everybody. There's no need. There's not a one. We're all magnificent and great, and we can leverage each other. That just speaks to my spirit of why I created this platform, because we also live in a world that tends to believe, or has said it's, and I've said this on my platform many times before, it's like the world had an epiphany when George Floyd died, that somehow racism existed, and racism always existed, but the world got an epiphany. So, okay, thank God for it. Let's now take something and make something positive out of it, where we can create or bridge the gap for these disparities that are currently exist together, because there's no need. There's really no need. This hierarchy that one's better than the other, you know? So it just really speaks to my spirit. It really does. And
very true.
Yeah, and when you're talking, and because of your legacy and the people lives that you touch, I'm also thinking, and along that line, you talked about faith, and you told the story about being in the room of greatness. And there were a lot of great people that are around you. What in your intuition, what in your spirit led you to, because your intuition had to speak to you. Something had to speak to you, so you didn't become intimidated in those spaces. You didn't become small or shrink as a result of being around greatness. Because when you're in a room, I mean, Kanye at the West at the time, you're at the beginning of his career, but other people, I'm sure that there's a feeling of, how did you find you?
Well, honestly, this is a funny thing, right? So it's actually impossible to be anybody other than yourself, right? The problem is that we become in awe over other people because they're great at what they do, right? And we're supposed to see them and go, wow, that's amazing, and aspire and be inspired. So all those things are healthy, I think. But for me, the words that kept coming into my mind were repetition and augmentation. Repetition, augmentation. So what do I mean by that?
Yes.
When I walked into those practice rooms, I saw the greatness in the rooms, but I was also reminded that Donny Hathaway used to play this piano too. Miles Davis used to teach down.
You got another call, Craig. He's a busy man, y'all. He's a busy man. No, I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. And Mr. Dan Hughes, while you're fixing that, no worries. Take your time. Nope, I still can't. I still can't hear you. Dan Hughes, how you doing? He says, hello, Mr. King. Good to see you on Miss Cheryl's platform. Yes, we got him live, Dan. I had to hunt him down, but I got him. No, I didn't have to hunt him down. That's not true. That's not true. Did you freeze altogether? You good? That's okay, you guys. We're going to keep it going. He'll log back in. I want to say, Dan, thank you for joining us. I so appreciate you and all the great work you're doing. And matter of fact, I see what you're out there making things happen, sir. And I posted some of the great things that you're happening. And I'm so honored to be a part of the Athletes Influence Group. You are amazing. But while we get Craig to log back on, I just want to say to you guys, this is an amazing opportunity to have this talent in front of us. Craig is a legend within himself, and he has worked as a protege under Quincy Jones. I just want to re-highlight some of the amazing work that he has done and continues to do. Craig, talk. Let me see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can.
So just so we're clear, someone else called. So clearly it disrupts the conversation.
Okay, no problem. No, we flow. We flow with.
All right.
Dan said hello, by the way. Dan.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Mr. Hughes.
He said,
yes, that's my man.
Yes. So you were talking and you were explaining the difference between repetition and augmentation. And you were talking about, because I said we were talking.
Yeah.
So
what I was saying is that because art, no matter what you do in life, the only way you really improve upon this to, go through repetition and do it over and over and over and over and over again. So I would do repetition, scales all the time. But then I would also augment and do things that were sort of a-traditional. So I would turn lights off in practice, so I couldn't see my hands. So I was forced to go beyond the call of duty, much like an athlete stays after practice for another hour and comes before everybody for an hour. I would go beyond the call of duty. I would augment my process to create a hierarchy. You got me?
Right.
Because my thing was, I don't want to fit in. I want to stand out. So I got to go beyond what others are doing in order to do that.
Right.
So I would walk by and I would survey the other musicians that were practicing, and I would go, okay, I get it. Oh, he was in there for 4 hours. Okay, I got to do 5 tomorrow. These are the conversations I had to have with myself, because I didn't want to go all the way from Nashville, Tennessee to DC for college and come home mediocre or average.
Right.
I wanted to supersede even the people who had traveled to go to college just like I did. I was trying to figure out, where could I find my competitive edge?
Right.
Now, mind you, it still wasn't about competition. It was really about me figuring out how I could be the very best me I could be.
I love it. Yes.
Because I could never imitate or emulate any of those guys. They all had their special skill set. But how do I become the best me with my dexterity, my length of fingers, my height, my weight, whatever? What do I do to make this vessel the very best it can be?
I love it.
And so repetition and augmentation.
I love it. Y'all, he is giving some words of wisdom. If you don't have a pen, please go get one now. If you don't have a piece of paper, please go get one now and tag it. Don't keep this information to yourself. We have to share. That's how we get better. I am a believer in community is a new cultural currency. That is our strength. That is our community. And the more we build, and the more we build together, the better we'll become. Silos no longer work. Being a silo from this perspective is the one thing you said when you first started off. You love giving back. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. How do you pour into others that are wanting to be poured into, mind you, that are really receptive? Because I think energy attracts like energy. So be in that framework. So I'm so honored to have you. And I'm so honored to know that you got your piano in front of you. You didn't come to play. So you have your piano everywhere you go. No, I know you don't. You're in front of your piano. Like, this is, did you bring it because you knew you were going to be on the show?
No. It's just a sweet spot. It makes me feel at home when I have this in front of me, so. There's a comfort level.
So Craig, so you were in music, producing and writing and doing all these wonderful things. And at some point you decided to do some other things, entrepreneurial. And I think the music world, that's an entrepreneurial arm of what you do. I mean, your music is what you do, and how you deliver it is the entrepreneurial arm. But you also decided to do some other things. Can you talk a little bit about that with taking the books and digitizing them for schools. Are you still doing that? I don't know. I know you
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a big
Yeah,
thing
no,
for
no. Yeah, we have an arm of what I am that still does do that. Definitely, yes. But that's not something I focus on daily. But I do
okay,
have customers who come and ask me, can you digitize this? Yes, so we still make those things happen. We help people's dreams come true, much like ours did, right?
right,
Um, but I think for me, I always had a desire, um, and this is going to sound arrogant, but I promise you, I don't mean it for it to. I always wanted to figure out a way to clone myself because when I go to schools and I talk to young people, I could tell that I leave them kind of wishing that I had hung around longer or that they could have I could have met all the students in that school, right? And so because you have so much to give, you just have so much time to give it. It's just not
right,
enough time. And
right.
so one of the things I always wanted to do was figure out a way to scale the experience that I gave young people when I came and I talked about, how they dream and how they create in their creative process. And also, putting more music back into the schools because that's really our children are suffering a lot because they don't have anywhere to let go of all that creative energy. So they put it all in their cell phone, and but that's another conversation. So, um, technology really afforded me the ability to scale these conversations, not only that I'm having with young people, but my peers all have been trying to figure the same thing out. How do we get more information to our people without having to go to every single school in every single county? And so that's where technology comes into play. And, we can talk about that and how we leverage that.
Right. Well, you have an amazing company, Rap Plug, that you started. Talk a little bit to me about what is, talk about Rap King, talk about Rap Plug.
So Rap Plug really is a concept that was born out of a really dear friend of mine's brain. He brought it to me. He was an artist who was trying to get in the music industry. And so I was on a panel and he came to the panel and he was telling me kind of what the concept was. And, I heard it. And I was like, let's talk after this panel is over and see if we can't figure out a way to bring this dream to life. But what happened was I ended up falling in love with the dream myself. And so after several conversations and meetings, we just decided to partner and make it a whole family thing because I had already had the years in the business, but he was trying to figure out how to create an experience and get in the business, and he was kind of meeting the need of people who were on the outside looking in, right?
Right.
And so it was sort of a natural fit. I had already been dibbling and dabbling in technology anyway, and in tech enabled businesses. So I was like, let's do this. And so basically, it answered my problems for me. It allowed us to do live streaming for conferences, and it allowed us to do master classes for schools and philanthropic organizations and churches and after school programs and weekend programs. It allowed us to do things we couldn't do brick and mortar wise. We couldn't just do that in a single location. And meet a lot of people's needs, I should say. We could do it, but it wouldn't touch enough people. And so I had been doing a ton of panels over the years since the 90s, just panel, talking to young people about the music industry and all that stuff, just trying to give them the gems and the advice. But when we figured out how to put that online and create a virtual experience is really where the magic happened. And to be frank with you, the concept morphed into that during the pandemic, in the earlier months of the pandemic, because that's where all the children had to go home and do virtual learning. So it was like, if you were ever going to do this, this is the time. You have the platform, you have the outlet, you have the relationships. You could bring a lot of pros in and let your pros, partner in and teach and guide and still, live stream concerts and events where you don't have to worry about crowds. And so that's really kind of how it was born. And now it's just morphing into, juvenile communities and, like the link. I just left City Hall. Different organizations are now realizing that this is sort of the way to do it. So, for example, you imagine this: I'm talking to some students in the juvenile detention center here, and I can't bring certain artists in to talk because they have a criminal record. It might be a misdemeanor, but they still can't come in there and talk to these kids. So, the people who could connect to them the most and help them change their lives the fastest, they can't see. So now we have this opportunity to do it virtually. Now there's a whole new conversation on the table. You
Right.
partnering with all these Black colleges. Now all of a sudden I don't have to worry about flying in speakers. I can just fly them into my computer, and we can go out there and curate the very best talent and put them in front of 70 schools in 2 weeks because they didn't have to leave their homes. This is the value of the democratization of tech.
Right.
You got me? So
Oh,
now we're able to truly scale amazing minds and amazing greatness.
well, you know what? I applaud you and all you do. And as a matter of fact, I'll talk to you offline because we have a project where we're going to be taking to Fit for the World, my platform, to South Africa, and work
Mm-hmm.
with universities in Cape and across that particular portion of the continent. And I would love to. We have about 64,000 women that we're looking to reach. So I can't wait to talk to you about that. But beyond that, this is just, I want to say to the audience again, please, if you don't have a pen and piece of paper, I'm going to say it 90,000 times before the end of this talk because it's so important. Ask questions. Please do engage with this amazing human being that we have before us. Ask him as much as you want to know about his entrepreneurship journey. I'm sure that Craig, everything wasn't always roses. It sounds like that in your life though, Craig. From everything I've heard, you've been living to be in the room. First of all, with
Before you go there, I want to say something because you mentioned Cape Town and you mentioned South Africa. I
okay,
wanted to say one more thing about this app because it would be horrible if I didn't tell you this. We're not focusing primarily on the artist. We're putting our focus on the 49 different verticals, the 49 different careers inside the industry ecosystem, the industry solar system. For us, it's about how do we inspire our youth and beyond our youth, even adults, to see how many different ways you can make money in this space
yes,
that don't require a microphone. That doesn't mean I have a problem with the people who sing and rap or whatever, but there are just so many amazing verticals, from the chef to the hairdresser to the guy that's driving the freight trucks for the tour, to the engineer, to the lawyer, to the choreographer, to the DJ, to the sound man, and to the stylist. I mean, there's so many amazing verticals inside this industry. So we're putting a hyper focus on that because these are all rinse and repeat types of careers.
yes.
So I just wanted to say that because, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I want people to understand the depth, the bandwidth of what it is we're offering.
Wow.
Okay, you can go.
No,
You go ahead.
no, and thank you. I think that's dope. Jennifer has been enjoying the conversation. Jennifer, thank you for chiming in. She said, "What was the greatest challenge you faced in your journey, and how did you overcome the barrier?" Great question, Jennifer. I'm put that back up. Great question.
Let me think about that because I'd hate to say something was a great challenge and then people go, that's really not a challenge. So I want to make sure it doesn't sound frivolous. I think for me, it was the decision to drop out of college. For me,
Wow.
because I was the first time, college student in my family. I was the first one to go away to college. So it was a tough call for me, but I knew I had to do that because I had to follow my bliss. I had to do it. And so when I went out with Ray Charles, I had a lot of people saying, don't let that pull you away from your education. And I just happened to have one or two professors who said to me, you'd be a fool to not follow that wherever it leads you.
Right.
Even if you end up in starvation for a minute, it'll teach you how real this is for you.
Right.
And school will be here.
Right.
But it's a tough call when you have to make those kind of life decisions at that age. So for me, I'm grateful for the decision I made, but that doesn't mean the road was easy. By no means.
Right.
It was just a decision I had to make. And I'm glad I did make it.
Wow, that's a hard one because education is knowledge is powerful. I'm a firm believer knowledge is powerful when you use it. Because,
Yeah.
when you know better, you do better, or you at least that should be the focus.
Yeah.
Dan says, how does the community help the scale rap plug? What is needed? Hey, great question.
That's a great question. So there are a couple of things. One, we're in the middle of a fundraise, just so you know. What we did was we raised $750,000 in our seed round. And then we decided instead of going straight into a VC's office and having a conversation about what Rap Plug was doing and all that, we decided we wanted to let the community participate in the next round before we jump. And so Rick Ross, for those who don't know Rick Ross, he's a rapper. He's also my business partner in this particular deal, along with Brandon Chris. And Rick, along with all of us, we kind of decided it would be a great play to let the community get behind it and invest. The entry rate for the investment to buy the smallest amount of shares was $250. So we made it very tangible because we wanted to make sure our community could really wrap around it. We've only been up for a few weeks, but we just hit our $40,000 recently, and we'll keep it open for a little while longer. We just don't know how much longer because we're already getting calls from a lot of advertising companies who want to jump in. But we wanted to make sure the community knew about the raise, because the reality is very rarely do we get a seat at the table. So we wanted to create that opportunity. And usually what happens is we end up becoming customers and not shareholders. We find out about an app after it's already hot and popping, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we wanted to give that opportunity to our group and make that a real tangible opportunity for our people. And even people who just like, I'm just going to invest in it for my son or my daughter because they don't know anything about shares. I'm going to just put the 250 up for them to have shares in this, because this is clearly a part of their community, their culture. This is a space they care about a lot, this music space and all that. So that's one way for sure to support and advance the cause. The other way is to just tell people about us, to just, post or repost things that we put up, help us evangelize this message, because, even with Tidal, we didn't know it was happening until it happened. Like, we didn't get a shot at it. We didn't get a chance to invest in it, same with Versus. I mean, these conversations happen a lot around us, and we listen in and we partake, but we don't get shares. And that's the thing we're really trying to put emphasis on. I'm even going to do a whole masterclass on our site with some financial guys to just explain the value of shares, because we just don't know until it's too late.
Right. And investing is a very important thing. And a lot of people think that they can't be investors, or, that somehow you have to have millions of dollars before you partake. Actually, it's just the opposite. With $250, that's such a small ask for, and we probably spend that in a week going out to dinner and lunch and coffee and whatever else that we're doing, to reinvest back in yourself. And as a community, I think that is so valuable. So I applaud you for that.
Yes. We just did a partnership yesterday with a company I can't mention yet, but we are so proud of this deal, and it's going to change our valuation like as soon as we make the announcement. And then we just partnered with another STEM organization out of Atlanta who are scaling. So we're doing a lot more in the schools. And you guys know one thing about education is it's so prosperous, it's so beneficial, and you make money. And grants are just all over the place for businesses like ours. So we're really excited about some of these announcements that we're about to make. But ultimately, the ultimate announcement for me is the contrition and building the community. That's I'm gonna sing that part till I die, is how many different ways we can help our community.
Wow, this is so huge, you guys. This is such an opportunity, Craig. I'm stoked about what you're doing. I've been watching you for years now. I'm not going to count the years, but it's been years.
It's been a long time.
I've been watching, and
we're not new to this. That's for sure.
No, and I watch you, and I watch you from a standpoint of admiration and respect, because your reputation definitely supersedes you. You are a man about the business. And I'll tell you what I love most. And I did say the word love. What I love most about you is you're an amazing father.
Oh, my Lord.
Amazing dad.
Oh, man.
You're a girl dad all day, every day, 24. And I love that. Your priority for her and how you center your entire universe around her and making her your priority is just, it's hands down. I love the way you play. I love your artistry too, sir. But I'm just saying that gift right there is everything. It's everything.
Can I say something to you?
You can. Of course
I was right before our call, I heard my little angel and she went in the garage because she sings these songs by Jaya, who's your artist that you like? Ariana Grande, right? So she was singing in the garage, top of her lungs, and she didn't know I was standing by the door. And I'm about to straight cry because she's in pitch, right? And I'm like, Oh my God, like am I playing a role in why she loves music, or is it in her DNA, or is it a combination? Whatever the reason is, I'm so grateful to be alive to witness this development. You're about to sing it again. and but all right, give me a minute. I got you. I'm gonna play for you when you sing it. But okay, but here's the deal though. I wanted to show you this. This is Aaliyah, all right? Somebody gave me this recently.
Oh, I love it.
And yeah, somebody gave me this recently because I produced 5 songs on the One in a Million album, and we're celebrating the 25th anniversary, and it was re-released. And so, we're really, really proud of what it's done and all that. Went to #1 and everything. And I say that to say I loved her relationship with her father. And I loved how they moved. And I had no children when I was working with her, but I watched them so diligently every session in the way they interacted. And I always said, if I had a daughter, I would imitate that. So my daughter's the beneficiary of this woman's relationship to her father. All right, I digress. Okay,
No,
back to
I
you.
love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's so powerful, and every girl needs her dad. I mean, that is where it starts. It's like laying the foundation, and if you have a strong foundation, you'll never tilt. It'll always walk on the straight and narrow. I want to talk a little bit, and I know time is flying, Craig, but you have done so many great things. One of the things that stood out in my mind is one time I was watching a commercial. And for me, there's so much power the way the media is played that in our lives, at least when I was a little girl, that I only thing that I saw that was quote unquote represented beauty was blonde hair and blue eyes. I didn't see little chocolate dolls. I didn't see images of black women on the screen. I didn't see this where women of color could be perceived in power. And even within my corporate career, there's always, and I was in corporate for 30 plus years, and at in boardrooms where typically I was the only black woman, typically the only woman, but the only black woman. And you came up with this commercial. First of all, how did you come up with the commercial? And can you please tell everybody, if you haven't watched it, if they should still be replaying that commercial today? I don't see it anymore, but they should. So, question, please share.
Um, so that commercial came to me through Ford Motor Company, and it was a friend of mine. She asked me would I be interested in working on the project, and she told me the campaign was called Born to Roll. And I was like, Born to Roll. Okay. So they described it to me, and they played me some examples of songs they liked that they thought might be good for the commercial. They sent me like a ton of different tracks that were like reference tracks, and from Beyonce, Kendrick, everybody. And could you imitate this? I was like, okay. So I sent them back like maybe 10, 15 different versions of what I thought Born to Roll would be. Um, but I said, if you don't mind, I want to deviate from your concept and call it Roll On Sister. I said, but we could do Born to Roll too. I'm not going to hate on that. But I think Roll On Sister really speaks to the culture in a different way. And the lady said, well, try both. So I brought in a dear friend from Detroit, Joya Owens, and I said, let's try this. And I showed her how I heard it, and she sang it back to me. We printed it, sent it over to Ford, and they went completely crazy. And it became the theme um, for that year. And then they asked me to do another one for the following year with Moo, which also became a big deal for them. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you what attracted me to the commercial. It was the powerful three black women. It
Yes.
was the idea of promoting three black women in different places in their lives and different careers. So you had the chef, the
Yes.
pilot, and the dancer in the first commercial.
I love
The
it.
second one, you had a doctor delivering a baby. You had a firewoman, and I can't remember what and an artist, a graphic artist. So I mean, each time they reached into the culture, grabbed lifestyles, and brought them in, and they allowed me to paint a canvas over what I thought those careers looked like through music.
Wow.
So
Did
the
you write
freedom.
music?
Hmm?
Did you do the music too?
I did. Yeah. So it was just an amazing opportunity. And I'm working on a film now. I can't speak to the film, but it's got that same energy. They like just breathe life into it, paint over these images, and I love doing that. So
I love.
yeah, but
Oh,
that was an honor. And if anybody has not seen those commercials,
I'm sorry. Go on. Go on.
I was gonna say, if you haven't seen those commercials,
What is
just go to YouTube and look up um, Roll On Sister um, Ford, right? Or you could look up Born to Roll Ford, and you would see it there.
okay?
Now, there's one that has Nicole Ari Parker. That particular commercial I didn't do. They use stock music for that one. That was a Nicole Parker. But the other two commercials, hopefully you guys like it.
Okay, play some bars. Let me challenge you.
You can't play them on the piano. I don't think. Let me remember.
Y'all,
It's been so many years.
really, girl. He's like,
Oh, that is funny.
really? That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
I'm just trying to remember.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know they don't know until they see the commercial. That won't mean anything to them until they see the commercial.
Right. You got to see the commercial, you guys. I really encourage you. You will be inspired by it. And every time it came on TV, I was so inspired. I was just like, it just sent chills down my spine, making the hair on my arm stand up. It was that good. It was really, really good. Craig, this is.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for taking time out. I have to ask this question for myself. What made you decide to say yes when I asked you to be on my platform?
Because you're thorough. You're thorough. I know you're going to ask the right questions. I know you're going to have the right audience.
Yes, sir.
And for what I do and where I live in my life, I just don't want to speak to deaf ears. I want to make sure it's intentional and that it's received.
Yes.
Because we don't have a lot of time.
We don't.
And so you want to speak to a receptive audience. And I knew you would curate that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
mm-hmm.
love.
Mm-hmm. And I like the name, the fit thing. I love that. It's really dope because you're so fit. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
But it's all about that. But you know what's so funny is because it's really a play on words. Because of my journey to Miss Olympia, that was beautiful. But it really is about your mind. It's about being mentally fit. Are you mentally fit? Because everything you're talking about, your journey, how you live, how you're parenting your daughter, how you're going about engaging in these new genres that you're moving in, it's all about you're being intentional. You're being very focused on that. And mental fitness is about that. It's about the world that we live in, the universe. It's enough for all of us. This small mentality of that, no, I need to hoard on to this because if you somehow win, then I'm not going to win. No, I think that's been bred in us in a way that we need to start to unpack that and really understand who we are and what our power is and what we're capable of, and not allowing anybody to write our narrative. It's our narrative. Tell our own story. I don't need help in doing that. I have a community of people. If you're willing to give them an opportunity, you can learn so much, and the world is so much better as a result of it. I believe that hands down. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's my story. So here goes. The one thing I love about what I do is I get an opportunity to talk to amazing, talented, smart, intellectual, all the above individuals like yourself. What I always, when it's like the time is gone. You know what I mean? We have less than 5 minutes left. And I want to thank you, Craig, because I know you're on Atlanta time, but I know you're working. I know you work all the time. When are you not working? You work all the time.
I don't know if I told you this. Rap Plug just got, for the last 4 weeks, we've been on tour with Rick Ross Jeezy, Gucci Mane, and 2 Chainz. So if you see that tour anywhere, you'll see Rap Plug tied to it. You'll be able to watch the live streams on our site, and we will be going to Black colleges in those cities that we tour and doing Rap Plug in events where we teach young people more about the music industry and things that they care about. We'll have conversations, we'll do mentorships, we'll do a lot of that. I just wanted to mention that because I didn't know if you knew that. So
No, I did not know that. So again, just you know, sir, you got it.
we'll be on the West Coast next weekend too with Tory Lanez for his festival. So we're filming that as well. Yeah, I'm just giving you a little tidbit. Yeah,
okay, there you go.
So I'll call you when I get out there.
Yeah, you know what? You better call me when you get out here. But here's the thing. I want to know, this is the question I have for you. How can we support you?
Well, like I told you before, I think buying shares is a huge support play. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to have that round open. And then promoting the brand, huh?
How do they go about it? How do they go?
You go to startengine.com, startengine.com. And then
all one word. Hold on, you're like
yeah, all one word, startengine.com. Right?
Okay.
And then put / or / rap plug. No, put rap and then yeah.
Backslash.
Backslash and then rap, the word rap, and then a dash and then plug.
Let's see if I got it right, Craig. Let's see if I got it right. It's coming, y'all. I don't know why my computer's being weird. Is that it? No, that's not it.
No, that's the website.
Never mind. Here it goes, right here. There it goes.
Oh, that's it.
That's it? Okay, perfect.
That's it.
So if you want to support the amazing work that this gentleman is doing, please do. Whether you watch this today, tomorrow, or next week, and when you do, tag a friend. We cannot keep information to ourselves. It's about the community. How do we engage the community? We do it by sharing. Back in Africa, that's what they did. We shared stories. We told stories. Storytelling was everything. Right. So this is about how do you keep the story rich and alive? You share it. And so please do support Craig. And when you support him, tell him I sent you, okay? Because I want him to know the impact of my community. I want him to know that we show up and we show out. So please do support him today. So we only got a few more minutes. So before we go, I want to ask you a question. I don't want you to answer it. I just want to ask you.
Okay. Well, pardon me.
I'm gonna say some stuff about what we have coming up, and then I'm gonna come back, and then you can answer the question. Okay.
Okay.
So if you could leave one piece of advice for my platform, what would it be? Don't answer that. So what I want to say to everybody today, this was a blessing. A blessing. And I know Craig, and I know he's either traveling or moving or being a father and doing all the above probably simultaneously. So for him to take time out today was very huge. And I am so honored. And it's a blessing for you. So please do continue to share this and share this with your network. Don't just keep it to yourself. I can't say that enough. I also want to say that there is no I in team. I cannot do this without my team. The work that's put here is a whole slew of other individuals. I have girls that are bosses. And by the way, you guys, did you know millennials are the largest population now? Millennials. The average age is 26 point something years. And so these are our future. And I have a group, everything that I do is fit. They're called Fit for the Future. These women are powerhouses. They come to get nurtured and mentored, and they give me back 1,000 times that. And I'm so honored to have them on my team. when you look at the branding, I want to say that's my son. I couldn't do it without him. So I have to thank John Tay. I have to thank Zai, who's my marketing manager. I have to thank Andrea Stanley, Ebony Creighton, Jasmine Collin, Dejan Grant. We have Joelle Amorosa, and we're growing. We now have Shantae, and the group is growing. Now, I mentor women all the time, so I have them come and grow in cohorts. And these women are the ones that are with me now, and they are amazing. And if you're interested in being about part of it, just go to my website, www.cherylgrant.com, and you can learn more about that. I also want to say to you that Giving Back Tuesday is coming up, and we have a campaign that we're going to be pushing out, and I want to ask for your donations. I can't do the work without you, so I'm going to ask for your support. And I want to thank everybody for all the emails and the love that I get for telling me to continue on and how this platform is enriching your life. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And next week, I just want to say we're going to have on Fit Live. Next week, I'm so excited about this. She actually just took a new position. Her name is Sharon Connors, and Sharon was working for Micron, but now she's working on a new job. We'll learn more about that next week as the Chief People Officer. And I can't remember the name of the company right now, but she'll be sharing a lot of that with us. Epic drop of knowledge. Keep it lit. I love it, Jennifer. Thank you for that. So now, Craig, please share.
Perfect timing, because I was just about to put this little girl to bed. So for me, my mantra is lift as you climb. Lift as you climb. And of course, you know, my other one is just to become excellent, you have to repeat over and over again, repetition and augment. So I'm just gonna leave you with one last thought, because I think about this often. I got into tech in my late 40s, and I'm thriving. Okay, we're creating a fund to invest in other people's tech ideas now. That's how much I've fallen in love with this space. So new discovery is fine. You're never too old to find new versions of yourself. It's all in us, and it's just about shining yourself off and looking at yourself differently and figuring out, you know what, I'm not doing all that I could be doing on earth, and then taking the plunge. So I don't know, I said a lot just now, but I'm excited about life.
Wow, you know what, Craig, you are a blessing, and thank you so much for being on this platform. Don't hang on for 2 seconds before we go, because I got something to say to you, but I'm gonna get us offline. I want to say to everybody, thank you, and thank you, Craig. You are amazing.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Have a good one.